if you are watching this video, you may have finally realized that this, the putter, is the most important club in the bag. Either that, or you have fallen down the deepest, darkest of YouTube wormholes. In this video, we're going to try and figure out what putter design, head shape, neck, shaft, grip, everything is going to be right for your game. Now you might get down to those comments and throw PGA stats and strokes gained at me and say, well, actually the most important club in the bag is the driver. Now for some of the top professionals, that might be actually true, but for you watching this, I'm afraid I have some other news. You see, the chances are there's going to be a limitation somewhere within your life that might stop you hitting the ball like Rory McIlroy. You might be working full time. You've got a limited amount of hours you can dedicate to practice, for example. Physically, you might just not be able to create the swing speed, but putting, ladies and gentlemen, is somewhere where you can challenge even the very best player. And the reason for that is that with a putting stroke, the putter only moves back and through a very short amount. And therefore, on the green, anybody can be the boss of the moss. How is that for an intro? How is that for an intro? So the putter that you choose can drastically affect your chances of success on the green. Yes, you have to put the practice in afterwards, but choosing the right shape and design for you is essential. But while you're here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 500,000 subscribers. It would be great to have you as part of this community. So hit that subscribe and whack that bell icon while you're down there as well. So the design of a putter, and this is where many people can start to get confused, because there's a lot of different putter manufacturers out there. All the major brands do putters, and within putting there's lots of different niche brands who do putter design. And if you think of something simple, let's say the TaylorMade Spider putter, I've got a few of them here. Now this is effectively the same head shape, but it has a different neck, it has a different crown, it has different coloured weights. So this is the same putter, but you can literally get it in dozens of different combinations. Multiply that across all the putter brands, and lo and behold, you have more choice than a cinema pick and mix. So the design of putters are roughly categorized into a few sections. Now I have here in my hands an even roll putter, and this is classed as a mallet. Now a mallet putter is a big club head, and I would say this is generally suited for most golfers. Because the club head is much bigger, the designers can push more weight to the perimeter. And when you stick more weight to the perimeter of a golf club, you increase the MOI. Now MOI stands for moment of inertia. And I'll come over and talk about it. Now, moment of inertia is classed as resistance to twisting. So if you strike a putt and it comes out of the toe or out of the heel, the putter will deflect and twist. Now that twisting away impact, obviously that's a bit of a dramatization, can open up the club face or close the club face by a few degrees. Might not sound a lot, but over a 10-foot putt, you're going to completely miss the hole if it does. Now a mallet putter, because of all this perimeter weighting, it twists less when it comes out the toe and the heel. Also, the transfer of energy is going to be greater, so you're going to miss less putts short. Now I'm going to show you quite a few different examples of this, but this mallet, this even roll, is a face balance putter. Now you can tell it's face balanced because the face is balanced and it's pointing up towards the sky. Now the reason it's pointing up towards the sky is if you have a look from this angle, you can see that the shaft is lined up with the center of the club face. Now, if this shaft is mounted more towards the heel, the toe will hang more down to the ground. Now, you don't usually get bladed putters, which we'll get onto in a moment, that have this face balance. And this type of putter are going to suit players who want to move the club straighter back and straighter through. Now, there is a spoiler warning here. There is no such thing as a straight back, straight through putting method. Bryson DeChambeau currently is probably the closest, and he stands super upright with that shaft almost vertical. Because a golfer is stood at the side of the ball, the putter is always going to move in an arc. Again, we'll get onto more of this in a moment. But if you don't want to be moving the club on as big an arc, then a face balanced putter, and therefore probably a mallet, is going to be the best for you. So this is the version of Bryson's putter I'm currently using. This is called an arm lock. Now this fastens onto the inside of the forearm, and it forces me to get very upright over the ball. So with an upright lie angle, even though this putter is not face balanced, it has toe hang, as you can see here, the likelihood is I'm going to be able to move this putter straighter back and straighter through even than I could that mallet. So this Scotty Cameron Newport, this is more of a bladed putter design. And because there is a little bit more toe hang in this model, this would benefit from a little bit more arc. So moving back a little bit on the inside as the blade opens up in relation to target, back to impact square, and then it rotates a little bit closed coming through. Now this is a putter design popular with many of the best players in the world. It's a very clean look at a dress, but with this type of look, there are some sacrifices. The perimeter weighting, you can push it out to the sides of the club, but you can't push it any further back. Now, what a lot of players tend to feel is that with that more concentrated sweet spot, a strike out the center of a bladed putter actually feels better than a mallet. But what it also means, if you don't strike one of these putters out the center, it's not as forgiving as a malleted version. But when you put it like that, now that cleaner look is something I particularly prefer. I think a nice straighted blade is easy to line up. However, when you use a bladed putter, you lose some of this option. So this is a 2-ball 10 triple track, and as you can see, the top of this club, the crown, because there's so much space, Odyssey are able to pack a lot more alignment help onto the top. So it's got the 2-ball discs, it's got the triple track, so when that goes down behind the ball, yeah, I mean, that is, well, you can't get the line wrong. The putt, you can still mess up though. And let this be a warning to you, no matter what putter you use, you can still hit bad putts. Shh, don't tell anybody. So something which you may not have spent too much time considering, but I do recommend you have a look into this a little bit more deeply when purchasing your new flat stick, is the type of neck. Now this is a Spider putter from TaylorMade. It's exactly the same design as far as the head shape is concerned, not so much as far as the colors are concerned, but this one has a tiny little slant neck and this one has a goose neck. And when you put both these putters behind the ball, even though they're the same head design, the way that the shaft intersects the head, they look drastically different. This longer neck sets the club face further back than the shaft, while this slant neck just sits down into the top of the head and brings it closer to the shaft. That's obviously going to affect the timing of the stroke. So you can look at putter shafts in a few different ways. Either manufacturers have made huge strides in the past few years and are now charging you more for that privilege, or they're just charging you more for that privilege. So this is an Odyssey 2-ball, but it has the Stroke Lab shaft in. Now this Stroke Lab shaft will cost you an extra £30 when compared to the standard steel. So to quote, Odyssey say our new Stroke Lab putters actually help improve the golfer's stroke, including backswing length, face angle and impact, head speed, through impact and tempo, all through a profound change in weight distribution made possible by an innovative new shaft. This shaft is a full 40 grams lighter than a traditional steel putter shaft with a multi-material construction, and it weighs just 75 grams. But it doesn't stop there. So this shaft in my sick putter is Bryson DeChambeau shaft, well certainly the one he was using at the time I got this putter. And what LA Golf say, the ones who've made this shaft, is that graphite has a higher strength to weight ratio than steel. And for that privilege, this shaft on its own will cost you $380. Now extraordinary prices really do deserve extraordinary claims. And it's still possible to miss putts with it. And how much difference a multi-material construction shaft or a graphite shaft actually makes within a putter, you know, I'd want to see some pretty hard evidence to suggest why this shaft will be about $330 more expensive than just the standard steel. The length of the shaft that goes in your putter as well is very important. So most putters that you will see in the shop, they're about 34 degrees. But as you know, as I know, as golfers, we are all a bit different. Different arm length, different heights. And also the length of that shaft is going to dictate slightly what the type of stroke is that you're going to be able to put on it. It will alter eye position, it will alter your posture, it will alter many different things. And this leads me on to putter fitting. Now don't dismiss putter fitting, because let me Explain it this way. If you've been fit for a new driver, you're more than willing to stand at a driving range for a few hours, beat balls out into the distance, look at the data on a launch monitor, and fork out probably upwards of $400 for that privilege. Whilst here is a club you're going to be using at least twice as many times as the driver on the golf course. So why shouldn't this club be front and center rather than just as an afterthought? Oh, I've got fitted for my driver, I've got fitted for my irons, what do I need a putter for? I'll just whack a few on the green, that feels right. Stick it in the bag. Getting fit for a putter, if you look at it from purely the point of view that putting is so important to amateurs, but also the amount of times you use it, this is the club you should get fitted for first. Now, a reason for this, putter fittings generally aren't as profitable for a shop than an iron or a driver fitting. There's only one of them and there's less margin. And holding more putts, whilst very useful for a golfer, isn't as sexy as saying, this driver's going to give you 20 more yards, Frank. But this is also where I need to make an apology. So over my many years of testing clubs here on social media, I have yet to have a proper putter fitting. I've fallen into the category of getting clubs through to test, having a few putts and thinking, oh, that's nice, I'll have a go with that, I'll use that for a bit. But here is where I draw the line. So on this day, I solemnly swear that for the next putter which stays in my bag, I will get fitted by a professional and someone who knows exactly what they're doing. Upon this oath, I swear. Omne parum, shankum, hookum, into the woodsum. Amen. So everyone, hopefully this is giving you an insight into the different types of putters that are out there and some of the different options. And yes, it's all very well for me to say get yourself fit at the end, but hopefully the information contained within this video can help you make a little bit more of an informed choice if you are wandering into a shop or you're buying something online. If you are struggling with your putting, by the way, please check this video out here, because no matter what you buy, you're still going to have to improve your technique. I'm afraid you can't buy one of those. That does require a bit of work. All right, guys, see you next time.